Okay, so welcome. Thank you for everyone who has joined us so far. And for those who are watching this recording, hi. Okay, so we are going to be talking tonight about lighting the fire in your business, how to kind of ignite those flames, how to reestablish your passion for Plexus and for this business. And so we're going to share some tips tonight. I have Karen and Liz and Lucy, who are all going to be sharing a little bit tonight, and then we'll have some time at the end for questions. So please have some questions. Otherwise, we'll just look at each other. So,
woo! Awesome.
I am going to go ahead
Sure, you guys can hear me.
Mute everybody, and then everybody can unmute themselves as needed. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I have a couple points that I want to cover before I hand this over to my fabulous colleagues. So the first thing I want you to know is that we have all been there. And when I say there, I mean in that place of being discouraged, disappointed, frustrated with our business. Maybe we've had times of doubt. And I can tell you this, everyone has had those times. If you're new and you're a month in and you're discouraged and you're thinking, this probably isn't for me, it shouldn't be this hard, I'm discouraged, I'm frustrated, I need you to know, I've done this for 3 years now, and I'm telling you, I have been in this spot more than once. And I would venture to say that every ambassador and every business owner has had a bad month, has had a bad season. And so we're going to talk a little bit about how to work around that. But I want you to know you're not alone. And I want you to know that if you're feeling those feelings, that's not necessarily a sign for you to hang it up. It might just be a sign that you need to try something different. Or work on fanning those flames. So let's talk about how to do that. And some of these things are going to get covered a little bit more in detail as we go, but I want to just skim the surface of a couple of things that are really going to help. We're talking about fire. So, in order to have a spark, you need to, if you're out in the woods and you're going to light a fire, so you're probably going to need some flint or in this case, maybe to make it easier, some matches. So one of the things you're going to need is you're going to need those tools that are going to reignite that flame when it starts to die. And so some of those matches that you can keep on you, that you can pull out to reignite that flame when you feel like you're starting to fizzle a little bit, some of those things are reconnecting with your why. Why are you doing this? Why did you start doing it? Why are you doing it now? When I first started this business, I just thought, well, if I could pay for my products, that'd be awesome. But I was doing that. And I was, I hit a place of frustration. You have to go back to that why. So, what's fueling my flame right now? What's lighting that fire? I want a Lexus. I need a new car and I'm cheap and I don't want to buy one. So that's my motivation right now. That's what is fanning my flame. I'd like to have a car that someone else gives me to pay to drive that I don't have to buy. So that's what is getting me to do the activities that I need to do to grow my business. Your why might be different. You might want to stay home with your kids. You might want to retire early. Your why is going to be different. And Karen's going to talk a little bit more about that. But sometimes you need to go back to why did you start this thing? And what do you really want out of it? Another thing that's really motivating, that's like a little match, is getting a new customer or a new teammate. Anytime you get a new customer, it kind of reignites your excitement and your enthusiasm about this company. That's why it's so important when we get a new ambassador that we help them hit the ground running with getting those first couple customers and going silver as quickly as possible, because that feeling is motivating and that helps them be successful. Liz, you're on here twice. That's really impressive. I just noticed that I'm seeing you twice. So that's talent. Okay, so getting a new customer or a new ambassador is it like a match that can help light your dwindling fire for Plexus? And so we've got a couple things we're going to share tonight that have helped some of our ambassadors, help some of your teammates get new customers or new leads. And so they're going to be sharing a couple of those tips tonight. Another thing that's great to do when you're feeling kind of a little bit a little in the dumps about your business is watch some diamond documentaries or watch some really great YouTube videos from some of our diamond ambassadors, or even people who are big in network marketing, like Sarah Robbins or Ray Higdon, or some other network marketing gurus, because those videos are very inspiring and really get you jazzed up again. So don't forget that you have that resource in watching diamond documentaries, reading testimonies. Sometimes it just takes reading a few testimonies to go, gosh, I forgot how amazing these products are. I forgot about how lives are being changed. And it kind of refuels that passion to keep sharing. Another thing that is, I think, personally, probably the most flame-throwing thing that you can pour gasoline on your business are events. And I'm telling you, there is a reason that our company does Super Saturday in January and does convention in June and does our leaders retreat in October, because those events are needed. You become weary after a while, in anything that you do. After you do it long enough, you have to refuel yourself. As a parent, or as, in any line of work that you do, there are going to be times that you need refreshed. You just need renewed. You need a mental health day. You need a work retreat. You need something to kind of get you going again. And these events are just that. Leaders are born at events. You guys, tomorrow is the last day to register for convention at the early bird price, and it goes up after that. Seriously consider going. I promise you, it will fan the flames of your business. It will pour gasoline on your Plexus business. And if you can't get to a live event, a big event, company sponsored, host a sip and see in your home. Host something at a local coffee shop and invite your friends and invite people to come. Even a live Facebook event can help rejuvenate you and get you going again and get some enthusiasm going for your business. So those are some things that I wanted to share. Those things that are kind of like matches you can keep in your pocket. Reconnecting with your why. Finding new customers and new ambassadors. Just one new customer can reignite that spark. Watching videos and reading testimonies and getting to events. But here's the thing, you guys. You have to want this. And that's what it boils down to. I can't want it enough for you. Your sponsor can't want it enough for you. I'm going to be a little vulnerable here. I don't know that I want to work out. And because I don't really want that, like my drive to get to the gym and to, get some defined muscles, it's not there. And I'm not going to do something unless I want it bad enough. I want my house to be spotless, but it is obvious that I don't want it bad enough, or it would be that way. So, you have to want it. And if you want it, I'm going to tell you a little secret. Motivation doesn't inspire action, because I can pretty much bet you money that I'm never going to be motivated to clean, and I'm never going to be motivated to go to the gym. And there's a whole lot of days that I'm not motivated to contact people for my business. But motivation doesn't pull the cart. Motivation isn't pulling the action. You have to do it, and that's what creates the motivation. The action creates the momentum, and the motivation, not the other way around. I would venture to say that most people aren't, pumped to go to work in the morning, but you do it anyway. And when you do it, it is what it is. But you have to do the action in order to have that feeling of momentum. Another little thing that I heard the other day that was very eye-opening, and I know some of you have teams of your own, and this is a big deal. So your team will never run faster than you do. Your team will not outrun you. If your pace is slow, your team will be slower. If your pace is medium, your teams will be a little less than medium. You set the pace for your team. So if you're not hitting the ground running, working this business, but then you say, well, but my team, if my team was, if the people on my team were doing their IPAs, are you doing them? You can't expect your team to do more than you're doing. Another thing that I heard in a video the other day, and this video was amazing, and I'm going to be posting the link for it in our group, and I want you to watch it. This is from a Diamond and Plexus ambassador, and this was a fantastic video. I thought about just swiping all of it for this call tonight, and just, swiping it, just taking it from her because it's that good. But I'll just give you a couple little pieces of it. This video was called Success Loves Speed. And in this video, one of the things she talked about is how when you are doing something, imagine you are at the gym and your trainer wants you to do 10 push-ups. And so you have two choices. Are you going to do them fast, or are you going to do them incredibly slow? Have you ever tried to do something like physical very slowly? It's hard. It's so much easier to do those sit-ups or do those push-ups quickly. That momentum of, doing them quickly. But when you're doing them slowly, oh my gosh, it's so much harder. Think about a big snowball that you're trying to push up a hill. What's the easiest way to get it up there? Run, right? Getting that momentum and running and pushing it while you're running is going to be much easier than walking and trying to push this. You have to get some speed behind you. The faster you move, the more momentum you gain. If you do it full throttle for a day, maybe that means doing it for a day. You contact 30 people in one day. You hit the ground running. You mail out 10 samples in one day. Maybe it's one day. Maybe it's for a week. Maybe you give it everything you got for a solid week. Maybe you do it for a month. It depends on what you want out of this business. If you want to be silver, if you want $500 a month, if you want to be diamond driving your black Lexus, it's probably going to take an average of 2 years of you giving this everything you have. So here in the next couple of days, I'm going to be announcing something that I'm going to be doing with a very select and small group of people who want this. It's going to require probably 45 minutes of your time a day for 10 days. That's it. Just 10, not weekends, Monday through Friday. And I promise you that this action, doing it hardcore, full throttle for those 2 weeks, it is going to make a huge difference in your business. This is going to be done in very tiny small groups, and I'm going to post more about it on our team page in the next day or two. So be thinking about if that's something that you need and something that you want, and if that's something that you're willing to put in the effort to get the results from. Now, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to let Karen start, and she's going to share a little bit about what she's seen and what some things are that have helped her in the last few weeks.
Okay. I'm going to talk real quickly about 3 points that I feel like has really helped my growth recently. I feel like December and January have kind of started the flame and started the fire for me and my business. And the three things are consistency, belief, and passion. You've got to be consistent. Even when you feel like it's crickets and nothing is happening, it's still really important to continue to message people, continue posting on Facebook, continuing to follow up. Regardless what you're getting back, you need to be consistent in your actions. I had a girl who I messaged in May, and she didn't respond. I cold messaged her. She didn't respond. And then I invited her in July to an online party, and she did respond to that. And she reached out to me in December, and a week later was ordering products. Had another girl last February that I cold messaged, and she was like, I'm sorry, you're just a few days late. A good friend of mine has already reached out to me about the products. Another reason not to wait to message people. And she said, I'm going to order some stuff from her. Well, she messaged me in December. Life happened. She never ordered the products from her friend. Her friend's not selling it anymore. And so she ordered from me a week later. So consistency. Guys, May was hard for me in my personal life, but I continued to it wasn't my same full throttle IPAs every day. I might not have been reaching out to somebody every day. I might have just scaled it back, and I just did something per week IPAs, but I was still doing something, and I was still trying to build and still trying to move. So stay consistent. The second thing is belief. If you don't believe you can do it, then you're not going to do it. Personal development has been something that I have learned a lot about, and I actually was going to post this in the team page. Let me show you this app that I downloaded onto my phone. It's not going to show me the main page. It's called Subliminator. Can you see it? Subliminator. It's an app that you can download into your phone, and you can record personal affirmations on here. It gives you some, but they're not very good. But you can record yourself reading personal affirmations, and I just read a lot of the ones out of the book, what you say when you talk to yourself, and it can voice over. So when I'm at the gym or when I'm cleaning or in the car, I can play these messages, these personal affirmations to me while listening to music. Like, it kind of plays it in the background, kind of like a subliminal message. And it's been huge for my belief and for what I feel I can do. You talk about motivation. When you're sitting there at the gym trying to push yourself and you're listening to like a really good upbeat song and you hear your voice in the background saying, you can do whatever you put your mind to, it's pushing you. Like, you're not going to stop. So that's been huge. But if you don't believe you're not going to be able to do it, then you're not going to do it. You have to believe that you can succeed or it's not going to happen. So you've got to grow your personal development. Real quick, last thing, the root of your passion. You have to have passion and you have to have a big why. Your why and your passion need to kind of go together. I've always had a why. I knew that I wanted to be financially free. I wanted to help my family, finances, and I wanted to get a car, and I wanted to be a diamond, and I had all the wants and the whys, but I wasn't passionate behind it. And it was after Thanksgiving that my husband and I had a conversation about our future and where we were in our life, freedom and our finances down the road, retirement. And there were some things and some options that we started talking about in order for our family to be set for the future that I didn't like and I didn't really want to happen. And I sent Ashley 4 voice messages November 28th, and I said, look, this is it. Like, I'm drawing a line in the sand. I'm tired of doing everything and not getting a lot out of it. And my passion exploded because I knew that this was my shot for my family and I to get the answers that we need for our future, for retirement, for our kids down the road. I'm not in this just for a little thing. I'm in it for the big thing. And if your why has to be strong so that during those times when you're not growing and you're not gaining any momentum, you can continue to push yourself. When I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, I remember, no, this is important to me because this is my family's future, and I'm not going to not do it today because not doing it is not going to get me anywhere. I messaged Ashley, and I just more or less did it out of accountability. I didn't ask for a response from her. I just was speaking it into existence and wanting her to know that this is it. Like, I'm going full throttle, and my December and January have been the best that my business has been in 6 months. So you've got to have a why and you've got to be passionate about it. So moving on. Next.
Okay, great. We are going to hand it over to you, Liz. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think so. Can you guys hear me? Can I get a thumbs up? Awesome. Okay, because I'm wearing a speaker thing and I don't even know if it works. So I feel like I'm talking to myself. Oh, I am. Hey, y'all, I'm Liz. And I just Ashley wanted me to talk about a new a post I did a couple weeks ago that really sparked a lot of interest in Plexus for my business. I don't post about Plexus every single day. I try really hard to be very deliberate about what I post and how I post it and making sure it's authentic and real. Those things are really important to me. And so when I post something, 9 times out of 10, it's extremely spontaneous. And it's usually off the cuff. So what happened was I came home one afternoon and I was wanted to post a sample offer to people. And I don't know if you can see it, but this was my crazy picture that I cannot even tell you. I absolutely hate this photograph. Hate it. I looked at it and I went, gugh. But I posted it anyway. And I want to share with you a few statistics about this post. It was a guessing game where you would get, I don't even know what people got. A 3-day trial, Slim and Accelerator. And seriously, this post got 12 likes. 12. That's pathetic. In Facebook land, 12 likes is really, truly pathetic. But what happened was I ended up with 17 viable guesses on my stinking fruit. So funny. My fruit. And 17 new people that have never touched base with me before, and which was crazy. 17 people at one time. Woo. Anyway, so I did all my follow-ups. I got 3 more people from Instagram because, of course, I posted it on Instagram as well, and ended up with 20 total samples. I ended up, of course, following up with every single one of them. I offered every single one of them. 3 people won the actual trial itself, and then I offered everyone else a sample. And I ended up sending out 11 samples from all of that. Some people I didn't hear back from. I'll follow up with them as well eventually, but I'm not going to bug everybody at once. But the thing I learned about that post, and it's so random because I have done these giveaways before. I've done them usually without my face in the picture. And the difference is, and the thing that we have to get over is that we are friends with people on Facebook. We are friends with the people on Facebook because they are our friends. And we have to remember that they want to see our faces. They want to look at us. They want to see your eyes. They want to see how retarded you look that day. Like, seriously, completely retarded. And how goofy you are. And they want to see you. They want to look at you. And they want to compliment you. And they want to tell you, oh, that's so fun. Or, oh, that's so silly. Or if you have a container of ice cream, they get excited for that sort of thing. So don't be afraid to show your face on Facebook. People want to see you. They want to look at you. And you just have to remember that these people are your friends. They care for you. They love you. They want to support you. And so show your face. And that's the one thing I learned. The other thing about this post, which is crazy, it's been the follow-ups. I hand delivered a lot of these samples. I mailed them. I've had to follow up. And people are still, like, this was a week and a half ago, and they still haven't even taken the products. I'm like, are you kidding me? So the follow-ups last a really, really, really long time. I mean, a really long time, right, Karen? And it's serious. You have to just continue to follow up with people. Some people took the sample right away and they liked it, but they're not going to order until next month. But you still have to just keep it positive, keep it excited, and make sure that they get that you follow up with them, and just make sure you become their person. So that's my nugget on that post and how fun it was. It was kind of crazy how it blew up, and believe me, there was no rhyme or reason behind it. I really don't know any algorithm that helped it do better than others that I've done, but I just keep trying. I just stay consistent, making sure to put my face out there and let people know I'm here for them when they're ready. So that's my 2 cents.
Thank you for sharing that, Liz. I don't know what it was about that post, but it was so great. And, it kind of inspired me to do something similar. And I know it inspired Lucy to do a post of her own that was hilarious and awesome and so relatable. And so I'm going to have her share a little bit about some of the things she's been doing to help kind of ignite that spark for her business. So go ahead, Lucy.
Okay, can you guys hear me? Okay, well, I did a video for a giveaway, and it was my husband doing push-ups. So he was wearing a hot pink Plexus shirt backwards, so you could see the words. And the guessers had to guess how many push-ups he could do in 30 seconds. And if you've ever seen my husband, he's this really fit guy. I mean, hardly an ounce of body fat on him. And it was hilarious. So I got tons of comments on there, more than I've gotten reactions for any Plexus post that I have done in a really long time. And I tagged him, so his friends were commenting on it. So then I have those connections now as well. So really, we have to remember that it is so important to send these samples out. There's a lot of people who will not buy unless they've at least tasted something. $70, well, for us, $70 it's a big chunk of change, and we know the value of it. But if you can't taste something, you're not going to really know. You're not going to know what it is. And sending these samples out is also, it's a great excuse to follow up with somebody later. So you've sent them something. They know you're going to talk to them later. They know you're going to call them, write them, text them, whatever, to make sure that they taste it. And so you have an excuse to keep coming back. And I realize my business really hasn't grown a whole lot in the last couple months. It stayed pretty even, but it hasn't really grown. And I realized I haven't sent any samples out in the last probably 8 weeks. And that's a long time not to be sending samples out. So that means I really wasn't funneling a lot of new customers in. I wasn't funneling those customers into ambassadors. So there's that progression. You talk to people, you ask them questions, they answer questions, you get their attention, you send them a sample, they become a customer, they become an ambassador. It's kind of a revolving door. You're going to lose some people, but you have to get them in there in the first place. And if you can't afford to give them out of your own stash, buy a 7-day sample, split it up, give people, say, okay, this month I'm giving out 7 samples, and slowly maybe grow that way until you can afford to step it up a little bit. But in the last week, I've sent out probably 8 or 9 samples. And a lot of those were people that I realized I had never followed up with in the first place. They'd expressed some interest. And so I said, hey, I messaged them, called them, said, hey, I haven't realized we haven't really talked about Plexus in a while. Have I ever sent you a sample? No, I'd really like one. So then they got a sample. So, and I'm waiting to get my sample cards in the mail, but I found these cute little things, these cute little cards. Can you see them? At Kroger today, and they come with these awesome little envelopes. So what I did is I stuck the sample right on there, and I wrote a little note. It was nothing fancy. I am waiting for for those little cards so that they had a personalized, here's how you take it, thanks for trying kind of a thing. I know I'm kind of all over the place. Today was kind of a crazy day, so I'm sorry for that. If you don't have any of these E's and bags of body cream, those are good samples to send out too. Some people don't want the slim, but they might like this. So it's just kind of another group of people you can send things to. What am I missing, Ashley? Today's been a crazy day. I'm all over the place.
I think that's good. We actually don't have a ton of time left, and I want to leave a few minutes for questions, but I loved what all three of you had to share, and thank you so much. And Lucy, you are right about the samples. I think that they're so important, and I think it's easy to forget to do that. But, Lucy was talking about the funnel, and it's so important if you think about it. You have this funnel, and inside that funnel are all of those people that you currently have kind of on the fence. And, some of those people are going to just stop messaging, they're going to stop responding. They're going to fall out of the funnel, or they're going to say, no, I'm not interested, or whatever. Or they're going to order and they're going to fall out of the funnel. But the problem is, if you're not continuously putting people in that funnel, your funnel is going to run dry. And that happens sometimes. And usually that's when we get discouraged. And the thing is, we have to be proactive. We can't wait till the funnel runs dry.
Right.
And then go, oh no, now what? I don't have anybody lined up. I don't have anybody in the, I'm not a sports person, but the bullpen or whatever. I've got no one in the bullpen.
And that's where I was. Yeah. And that's where I was. It was like, there was nobody. Whoa, what am I going to do now? There's nobody there. So I had to go back out and say, hey, reconnect with some people and send them some samples and start talking to them again. So there was a lot of follow-up in the last week and a half. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, and it's so, it's such a great way to kind of restart a conversation that's kind of gone dead. When you're messaging about their health and you're asking questions, and then it kind of just hits that wall, it's the perfect time to say, hey, would it be okay if I sent you a sample? I'd love to send you out some information and a sample. Can I get your address? And they go, sure. And so it's just kind of a nice way to kind of keep things going, especially when you kind of hit that spot where they're not asking any more questions, but they're not ordering, and they're just kind of hanging out. So sending that sample is great. And it does give you the opportunity to then go back and follow up later, which they're probably expecting that you're going to do. So I'm going to have Karen stop our recording here in just a minute.